Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order. There's a lot of feedback. It's really loud or something. Okay. Of the Zoning and Land Regulations Committee. The first item on the agenda is public comment on any matter not listed on the agenda. Anyone wishing to speak on a matter not listed on the agenda has up to 5 minutes to speak. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda? Before we continue with the meeting, I'd like to make introductions of the committee members and staff, and I will then give a brief overview of the committee meeting. We have with us this evening Supervisors El Matano, Supervisor Jerry Bullock, Supervisor Dennis O'Laughlin, and I am the chair, Supervisor Mary Kolar. Also with us this evening are staff Zoning Administrator Roger Lane, Director and Planning Development Todd Violante, and we also have Dan Everson, who is, your title is?
The Assistant
Zoning Administrator. Okay, good. And we have with us this evening Youth Governance Member Garrett Stolen. Again, this is a ZLR committee work meeting. Public hearings have been held at previous meetings for the items listed on the agenda. The committee will not be taking public testimony on these agenda items. However, committee members may call upon persons to speak on an agenda item if there are any questions or concerns. When a petition is called, county staff will update the committee on the status of the petition. The committee members may have concerns or questions. After discussion, and decision may be rendered. If a zoning petition is acted upon, it will be placed on the next county board meeting for action, which is January 26th. If a conditional use permit is acted upon, it is the county's final action on the matter. The next ZLR committee meeting will be held on January 24th. So next is a consideration of minutes, of the December 13th meeting. I have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the minutes are approved. Next is petition 10,914, the rezone in the town of Verona. Roger?
There's also an accompanying issue. It has to do with a land division waiver as part of this rezoning petition.
Down under items E.
Yes, that is correct. I guess I will talk about this a little bit and update the committee on the what has transpired. So this petition was postponed at the November 24th, 2015 meeting due to no town action. The town was concerned with the final build-out of Prairie Circle. The neighbors wanted to know how many houses were going to be built and also if a neighborhood plan was going to be developed on this. After several meetings, the town came up with a decision that both the DiMaggio property and then also the Sweeney property to the east will both have 4 dwelling units or 4 lots on them. So the town has approved this petition. It is conditioned that the 4 lots be reconfigured and that they have a single access point onto Prairie Circle. The primary intent of this is if there was 4 driveways coming in that small space, it would be all driveway and there would be no curb cut or no curb, and so it would be quite congested. So they requested that the applicant reconfigure the lots and make a single access point. That since the town instructed the landowner to reconfigure their lots to have 2 lots not having frontage, the Zoning and Land Regulation Committee needs to review a waiver of the land division requirements for creating 2 lots with lack of road frontage. That is also before you tonight under item E 2016 DL-047. The committee may want to take that up prior to any decisions being made on this rezoning application. With that in mind, staff is suggesting, if this is approved, several conditions be placed on the property. One, the zoning district classification for the 28-acre property be amended to RH2 rather than the original RH4, RH3, and RH1. Basically, the 4 lots are equivalent in size. The second item is that the landowner obtain a waiver from the ZLR committee for lack of road frontage. Item 3 is a joint driveway agreement to be prepared per section 75.19. An example of this has been given to the landowner, and you'll be working on that. There are wetlands on the property. We suggest that a note be shown on the certified survey map, which shows wetland boundaries shall be delineated prior to the development of lots, the rear lots, and that would be lot probably 3 and 4. And the last item is that the landowner address concerns expressed by the Dane County Highway Department regarding the construction of a 200-foot turn lane and passing lane to County Highway PD. With the development, the full development known on Prairie Circle, Dane County Highway Department reviewed this build out, and they had suggested, since there's an increase from 8 dwelling units to 16 dwelling units on a cul-de-sac, they would like to have turn lanes in Highway PD for safety. So that's being worked. The town has been aware of that, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be paying for the turn lane, whether it's going to be assessed, special assessed, or the people that split up their lots and create it, but they're still working on that.
First of all, I'm going to move the waiver.
And I'll second that for discussion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the waiver that is under agenda item E. And a second. In discussion?
Yes, thank you. As I understand your overview there, Roger, that there are just 2 lots that we're doing this waiver for, right? That have to have a driveway into the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
This is the first one of, that's correct. There's just 2 lots.
Okay.
And then the property to the east will be on its own accord. They will need to have design, and I believe they will have a single access with 2 lots not having frontage on the road.
Okay, that's fine. I have no further questions.
Also, Mr. DiMaggio is here, David DiMaggio, if
Okay.
anyone has any questions
Okay,
for the petitioner.
I'm good.
Other discussion? Seeing none, I'll
Well,
go.
yeah,
Go ahead, then.
Sorry, I thought this. Just a couple of questions. One, on the this proposed joint driveway, looking at the map, I'm wondering, and maybe this was discussed, and I'm sorry about being a little late, mentioned beforehand, but why wouldn't the cul-de-sac just be extended further into the property and be where those 4 lots meet?
The town also looked at that, getting it longer, but right now it's already at its 1,000-foot maximum length. The town looked at continuing it all the way over to the east, but that property is owned by Epic, and they have no intention for continuing the road to, I think it's Country View Drive.
Yeah.
So the final development proposal was creating lots right around that bulb, and how to do that. The town, it was actually the town public works director that had suggested that there would just be a single driveway and to access the final development of Prairie Circle.
All right, so then being a private drive, then it'd be the four property owners' responsibility for
That is
snow
correct.
clearing and maintenance. And that, I guess you just answered my other question, and that is there any chance of there being road connection elsewhere? And or, by doing this, are we hamstringing any future logical connections?
That's why this petition took a year to get to this point. It was proposed just as a 4-lot. The original was having all road frontage right onto Prairie Circle. The lots were various sizes. The neighbors did not like that. The town looked at developing further to the east. Because this is in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city of Verona, it's not going to happen.
And Dan, the explanation of hardship on the waiver, do you have?
Yeah, the surveyor's got, it should be in your packet on the application. What the surveyor has shown is the town plan, county ordinances call for the 66-foot of road frontage. Technically, that's incorrect. The minimum frontage on a cul-de-sac is 30 feet. Lots 1 and 2 are perfectly fine. However, like Roger has alluded to, the town has kind of steered this in this particular fashion for the applicant.
So in essence, it's not the property owners.
And then on the certified survey map, the surveyor does show the 66-foot shared access easement in between lots 1 and 2, connecting to 3 and 4.
Supervisor Montano.
You guys refresh my memory. Now, didn't we create an alternative process where a waiver would not be required? What did that ordinance amendment do?
Well, in lieu of the road frontage
Right.
is the shared access,
Right.
meeting the requirements of Chapter 75.
This is rather unique. The exception had one flag lot, had frontage serving multiple other lots. So the single accessway would be on one single lot. And that's how it was all written, because this is kind of a quite unique configuration of lots. It's not normal. We requested a waiver for that, just so that it's properly reviewed.
The other thing too, with the property to the east, it's probably been 3 to 4 years now, but myself, Roger, and the county surveyor had made the opinion or interpretation that we would not allow a 30-foot strip of land. So in other words, they meet the minimum requirements of the frontage of 30 feet, but we don't want to see a 800-foot strip of 30 feet wide serving one lot.
Right.
So we said no to that probably 3 or 4 years ago.
So if I could move on to a comment. My recollection of our intent with that ordinance change, I'm recalling comments by Mark Hazelbaker, who thought about a scenario which seemed just like this, where an inefficient use of land would be 4 flag lots, where a driveway was taking up a lot of land, or 4 driveways were taking up a lot of land, and he drew a scenario almost precisely like this, with a vertical rectangle with lines bisecting it in both directions. So this arguably is the scenario that Mark was pointing out, where so to me in this case, it's actually a favorable outcome, where we're using that flexibility we were trying to build into the ordinance. I was getting at it, wondering why we even needed a waiver given that ordinance. But in any case, I guess I'm inclined to vote for it because I think it is a slightly more efficient use of the land.
Any further discussion? Again, we're voting on the waiver. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And the waiver is approved. Back to the petition. Anything else to add, Roger?
No, I believe the town of Verona is taking up the matter of the turn lane this evening with regards on how to divide that up and satisfy the county highway department concern.
Thank you.
Yeah, on that, looking at the suggested conditions, condition 5 is, it's trying to envision how this is going to be borne out. It just says the landowner shall address. Does that mean, what if the landowner comes back and says, "Yeah, we looked at it, we don't like the idea, we're not doing it," that addresses it. May not answer the concern of the department and some of the public safety concerns. So I mean, by the language of putting it on the landowner, just addressing without really saying what the outcome should be, seems a little.
We could say the landowner shall address the concerns expressed by the Dane County Highway Department to the satisfaction of Dane County staff.
Highway department staff, perhaps.
Highway Department staff.
All right. Yeah, up on anybody else's radar, so how do we enforce that kind of thing?
Is that a motion to approve
Well,
with that amendment
well-
or as amended?
Well, I'll make the motion to recommend approval of the permit, the staff conditions revising that 50.
Revised staff.
What about the town condition? Is that also a valid condition that we're going to add to this?
That was a condition that's not in the.
To the satisfaction of the
You're
county
only
highway
on access
department
point.
and town board.
Well, no, you're referring on to town approved.
They've got a condition that they've listed on their petition regarding one access point on the Prairie Circle for all 4 lots.
That's in the approved.
Right.
Yes, with the town will need to sign off on the certified survey map, so that will take care of that.
Okay,
And
so we don't need to-
also,
we
the
don't
joint
need-
driveway agreement will reflect that. Item 3 will address that concern, that a joint driveway agreement for all 4 lots will need to be recorded with the Register of Deeds.
Okay.
Okay.
Any further discussion on the motion to approve rezone 10,914? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? It's approved.
And who seconded that?
Supervisor Matano. You did, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And we-
Well, I think you were right behind.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next is rezone 11,058. And also just to let you know that Dave Rush is here.
This petition was postponed at the November 22nd ZLR committee meeting due to no town action. Since that time, the town has approved the petition with very specific conditions. It allows the Madison Area Radio Control Society to expand some of their hours. It has been an agreement that has been struck with the town and the society. The previous approval was last year, and they had limited hours of operation. The town did not receive any complaints regarding flying airplanes, so that this trial period actually took place. There were minimal flights. The Madison Area Radio Control Society has provided their flight log. There's probably 50, 60 flights in their year of flying. So it's a rather modest land use, and they just want to expand their hours some.
I'm going to move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the rezone is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Okay, next is rezone 11,069, Michael Burrow in the town of Oregon.
This petition was postponed at the December 13th Zoning and Land Regulation Committee due to no town action since that time. The town has approved it with a notation regarding no additional home sites will be on the property. Staff is suggesting that a deed restriction be placed on the A2 Parent 8 area. Basically, deed restricting the property to prohibit residential development. Also, the surveyor has increased the size of the property to comply with the 10% minimum coverage requirements.
I'll make a motion to approve with the conditions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve in a second. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the rezone is approved. Next is 11,073, Alex McKenzie in the town of Vermont.
This petition was postponed at the December 13th Zoning and Land Regulation Committee due to public opposition. The property owner to the east wanted to discuss a different home location, landscaping requirements, and maintenance plan with the petitioner. The town of Vermont has approved this petition with no conditions. Mr. McKenzie has tried to contact the homeowner to the east several times, and the landowner to the east has not responded to his requests. Mr. McKenzie is here if you have any questions.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the rezone is approved. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, plats and certified survey minutes.
Yeah, we have final plat, which is Daybreak Valley. The preliminary plat was conditionally approved last June, and now the final plat is before you for conditional approval as well. This plat consists of 46 lots and 41 single-family residential lots. Zoning is A1, so there's no change in zoning required. Lots will be served by private on-site septic systems. Outlots 1 and 2 are designated as private open space, public stormwater management drainage easements, and public recreational trail easements as well. Outlots 3 and 5 are designated as private open space, and then outlot 4 is being designated as private open space, stormwater management drainage easements. Really isn't anything unusual. There's no unique circumstances, no waiver required. Lot size meets the county requirements. So.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And it's approved.
The next plat is Vinnie's addition to Sky High. Final plat is before you for final signature before it gets recorded. All the conditions have been met. With regards to number 2, there is a transfer development right document that needs to be recorded. That will be recorded at the same time that the plat is recorded, according to Mike Lawton, the attorney representing the applicant. So. And the town has signed it. So.
I'll make a motion to recommend that the final plat be signed by the chair of this committee.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And it's approved. And we already did the waiver. So the next item is our ZLR Committee Rules and Procedures. I hope you all have had a chance to see Supervisor Metallo gave us a draft of some changes at our last meeting, and Roger has incorporated those. I have shared these with the Towns Association. I don't know if you had a chance to see it today. Mostly I'm hearing support, and particularly with documenting what's the public record. There was some discussion on calling on town officials, and I welcome your input on that. I did exchange with Renee, and she recognized some misunderstanding of what was being communicated. I wanted to emphasize that every committee, public, including the Capitol, you fill out a form and they call on you when you fill out this form. If you don't fill out the form, probably not going to get called on. But then it was a follow-up on, if you've had a chance to see it, my interpretation of her email was, tonight it's a work meeting, and if there's town action, I'm not sure. It's like we would call on, and I particularly recall Supervisor Miles was the chair. He called on town officials and asked. So
I think they're happy, though.
like I said, anyway. I think.
The ones I
As far as I
know.
know, I mean, I
Thank you.
you know, I didn't always recognize town board members or chairs, so if we didn't have a thing, I wouldn't know to
Right.
offer
That was my
chance,
point.
But I tried,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't in our rules, I wanted to offer the opportunity for those people to
Yep.
speak, and whether or not it was a public hearing. So I think that's what this rule, what the draft here basically codifies.
I can't imagine there was concern about that though, because if, we knew there was a town official in the audience, we would always make an exception and let them speak. Well, I've been on the committee, but if they want to formalize it, that's fine.
Well, I don't have a problem formalizing it. In fact, I'd meant for us, back when I was chairing, for us to do that, and I don't know.
Right.
It just looked.
Like I said, as currently written, I believe we do what we've met the intent. My concern about the words shall and may and right, then we're definitely with shall and right seems to carry, it does carry much more weight. And then I would have a concern, well, if nobody raised their hand, they didn't fill out the form, and we didn't call on them, is there some, if we violated our rules because it's a shall or it's a right, whereas they may call on it, and I do know that is our practice, as we've all said. Since I've been on the committee, we've called on them.
We might miss one if we don't know they're here and
Exactly.
they don't fill out a.
Yeah. But again, that's my concern with the words shall or the word right, that they have a right to talk, so, like any other citizen that fills out the form.
Is that under the public hearing section, it doesn't say shall, right? It's any official wishing to speak may be recognized.
Right, DCTA wanted the word shall. And it's like may. Again, it's a work meeting, so we may call on someone. And like tonight, I made a point of saying, these people are here if you would like to call on them. Yes?
I'd go with your reasoning. Also, like, I was at a meeting yesterday where earlier in the week, where arguably the people wouldn't take yes for an answer. We talked for half an hour on something that we were going to approve with pleasure. And
Okay.
sometimes that happens. I mean, people feel like they're obliged to speak or they didn't earn their keep. So
Yeah. Politicians do that?
These weren't politicians.
Well, these weren't even politicians, okay.
So I'm here to defend our craft. So that was that point. I have a minor editorial. The word enjoin, I think enjoin is a legal term that has to prevent it from happening. So I think it should probably just be the word join.
question.
Joint.
Yep.
Joint,
Okay.
So take out the E in.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just,
Part of the discussion.
Any other discussion then, as maybe we already have this ready to go?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
one of the items, E is an echo. Any town official wishing to speak at a meeting may be recognized at the meeting by the committee chair. We agree to that.
Yeah.
And provide an opportunity to join in the discussion as the
That's what-
pertinent.
Yeah, that's what we just took the E out.
Yes, yes, rather than join
It's
it,
join.
just say join in the discussion. So that,
I don't agree with that at all.
okay,
You don't want them to join in the discussion?
They want to make some comments regarding the zoning, and I'm thinking about certain town officials that both you and I know, who will dominate the conversation, and if we need information from the town official, and they give us their 5 minutes about what they feel that this petition is worthy, we agree, okay. Now we have discussion amongst our board here. And what this is saying is that he can be in that discussion.
May.
So what are you saying?
May.
We get their comments
We get their comments.
First.
Yeah.
But they
along
remain-
with the public.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they remain a member of the audience, is your point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right, that's all I'm, now, if we have questions, we can ask them, and then that's
Right.
fine. But I mean, I know some town supervisors that if they saw this, I'm telling you, they're gonna lead the discussion.
If they could come in our discussion,
Yeah, I don't want them in on our
they'd
discussion,
stay in.
but we
So
want them to
then
come in.
So they like reread it to clarify that they can be like consulted in the discussion, like a word.
That
like
is correct, but they cannot join the
Yeah.
conversation.
They can be consulted to
Join.
provide information for the
So-
committee's discussion.
so, recognized at the meeting by the committee chair, and,
May join in the public discussion?
just,
What's wrong with just putting a period after
recognized by the
Committee chair?
committee
committee
chair
chair?
to address the committee on the pertinent item.
Okay, to
as it's
address,
discussed.
and given an
Yeah,
opportunity,
yeah,
and given
yeah.
an opportunity to address the committee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so what I hear you saying is any town official wishing to speak at a meeting may be recognized at the meeting by the committee chair
To discuss any issues.
to discuss any
Well, I said,
What did you
because
say?
if it's discussed, then it's gonna be.
Yeah,
So-
right, okay, let's.
So.
To
but
present?
To go along with what you were saying, to be consistent with that, would be recognized, or by the committee chair, provided the opportunity to address the committee,
Just,
regarding
That's-
the
do stop.
pertinent item.
I'm still on the pertinent item. You
Hmm?
mean On the pertinent
Right.
item? Yeah.
Mhm.
To present on the pertinent item?
Present to the committee. I think it's gotta be,
To present.
then present to us.
Provided by the committee chair to address the committee regarding.
Thank you, Supervisor
Well,
Matano.
another like sometimes where there's been like a supervisor and you ask them questions about it. So if you could make
Well,
language
and
that
that's-
would involve.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always the case, the committee member can address them with questions.
Regarding to address or to address? Regarding it?
So committee chair to address the committee regarding the pertinent.
Okay, good, I understand. Okay, Supervisor Matano has suggested any town official, item 3E,
Yeah.
any town official wishing to speak at a meeting may be recognized at the meeting by the committee chair to address the committee regarding a pertinent item.
Perfect.
Yep, I like it.
Okay, let me get this to, actually, I'm gonna give it back to you in case there's anything else.
Oh,
And then we'll hand it to Roger.
that sounds like a plan.
We have it recorded, so I can get it right off.
Can I ask one question on that statement, Madam Chair?
Please.
Any town official wishing to speak at a meeting may be recognized. I can hear them saying, well, what does that mean? You will or you won't? How about if we say, any town official wishing to speak at a meeting will be recognized at the meeting by the committee chair?
If wished, maybe say.
Well, they wanted shall. We have may, is will.
Right. They wanted shall?
Yeah,
Who's they?
the Towns Association.
They wanted shall.
Shall. And it might, I said, using the word shall, that means you will,
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. What's wrong with that?
because what if I don't?
Well, if you didn't know the person,
Right.
it's not your fault.
But that, I mean, and that's why I am having this discussion, because the words shall and may. Will, to me, is a little less demanding than the word shall, but
Absolutely.
which,
All registrations are scanned and fed into the minutes. So all the white slips of paper are all scanned and inserted into the minutes, so that anybody that wanted to be recognized, we have that as a document.
Is there a way with like the white sheets and you check in to say I'm a town supervisor and I wish to speak on an item?
Absolutely,
So that
that'd be
you
great.
can see that like there is an official here?
Should do it.
How about if we say
'Cause that-
all
if they wanted
identified,
that language
any
in.
identified town official wishing to speak, just slip the word identified. Shall be recognized.
or take out any identified town officials.
Yeah.
Registered, registered town officials wishing to speak.
I like that.
Yeah, that
I like
works too.
that.
There we-
Registered.
In other words, if they let
They
us
haven't
know-
registered and we miss them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
could just
ballgame.
hear it otherwise. You know.
Instead of the word any,
Patrick, you
registered.
okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, good. How about
So
So it's any registered.
registered town officials,
wishing to speak
So
at the
any is
meeting
out.
will be recognized.
pardon,
Any is out.
any is out. Registered's in.
Will be
Will.
recognized.
Will or shall?
Well, let's go with will. Is that a compromise between may and shall?
The other question I had on that is,
So I'm going to take that as yes. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Go
the
ahead.
other question I had on this subject,
E?
yeah, related to elected officials, the other thing, I didn't put a time limit on supervisors or town officials. when this-
I don't want to put anything in there. If we don't have a time limit in there,
Okay,
let's
so
not do
this-
it. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
And
What
there
else did I-
were other changes. Any other items? Or are we good with the latest draft?
I like it.
I like it too.
That-
Go ahead.
The only other item of concern was item 3C. Attendance of the petitioners or their
Oh, thank
agent
you.
at the public hearing is required. They wanted it switched back to recommended. I tell everyone that they have to be here or else their petition is postponed. So I revised that to be required so everybody could see that at least at the public hearing, you need to present your, or that has been a longstanding committee.
That's for the petition.
We could still put it back to recommend it, and me still telling people that they have to come up and present their petition at the public hearing.
I recommend putting it back to recommended.
Okay.
But you still have the language that you may think there's no opposition, but we have seen people show up.
Yep,
Correct?
the
Yep.
Mackenzies is a perfect example.
Further discussion on that one? Good?
On the public, the official record, I just wanted to be clear how this is drafted. So basically, if there's somebody in opposition but they can't make it to the meetings, we had an example of that apparently from the December 13th meeting. There's the letter from Attorney Matt Fleming.
It was on this one.
Right, but, so obviously they weren't at the public hearing, they registered
They sent a
opposition.
person.
So you as chair recognize that it's part of the record, okay, even though they weren't present. And
But they did send a representative.
Well, they did, so, oh, Matt did make it, because his letter
No,
said-
he sent a staff member that said, I'm here because you said I have to be here.
Oh, okay.
And I said, okay.
So with the changes here, if they couldn't get a representative here, Well, the way I read this, it's up to the chair whether or not that gets, something sent in before a meeting gets recognized. Am I wrong, or that?
Yeah, because that night I had actually said, we haven't changed our rules. So this rule is because we get so many emails and people are saying things, but they're not here to say it. So the petitioner doesn't have an opportunity to see who's writing the emails and what's actually going into the record. So that's why this was drafted. And go ahead, Roger, because you are the one who experiences it the most.
Yes. So, within the official record, the provisions give the committee members opportunity to evaluate the emails they receive and determine whether or not to recognize them
Okay.
and introduce
And
those as part of the public record.
That flexibility.
Right.
Yeah, so Mr. Fleming's letter, if that was very appealing to you, you could say, I received a letter or an email from Matt Fleming. It is an email of opposition. I would like to have that into the official record, and this petition should be postponed. And so it gives you a good flexibility whether to, if they're not at the meeting, to weigh that accordingly
Right,
and
and I
not
just
get
want to
that
be
gray
clear
area
that we
out.
have that flexibility, but it's
Right.
not necessarily your expectation.
Right.
Okay.
Then for item 5 on there, it says, it starts off with like accept as authorized. Is there a way it could be written so that like the public knows if there has been an exception made, like something that was presented outside has been authorized to be entered into the record? Is there a way the public can be aware of anything that may have been authorized to be entered?
Being in Legistar.
Yeah, it's in our record
so
of our meetings.
it would show up into Legistar?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify
Yep.
that.
And again, to be opposition, it has to have been documented that there was opposition.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Further discussion on our rules and procedures changes. Could I have a motion to approve?
Move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion?
Yes, I want to thank,
Yes.
publicly thank Supervisor Matano for
Yeah,
his
good
work.
job. Yeah. I don't care what everybody says about you.
And Roger and staff, thank you very much. We've been doing this, so. I mean, further discussion on all the great work that's been done.
It's much needed given the Wisconsin State Journal yesterday, so.
Oh,
Did we
right.
get slammed yesterday?
Yeah.
It was an update. The subtitle of the Albion Quarry coverage was "Whatever Happened to." Yeah, what was it?
At the
Anyway,
bottom of the page,
so-
I think in the local section.
which I thought was actually very interesting to me. If they had known what was going on, they would be here tonight and say, "Hey, well, they changed the rules." But okay. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And they are approved. Thank you. We do have one more item, certified survey maps.
Those are the 12 that have been signed and recorded last
Okay,
month.
we're all good?
Yep.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second on that?
Okay, thank you.
Al, you good with adjourning? Yep. And we are adjourned.
Good job. It was a good meeting.
Thank
wish
you.
that- I wish
I
that-
thought that was going to.
I wish that Jeff had